Sure. So I went to CSVP Alliant San Diego, and I started in 2011 and I graduated in 2017. I was in a dual PhD program in IO psychology and clinical psychology. Um, and there was only one other student in my cohort, so which was neat because it was just the two of us going through together, which was awesome. Sure. So I have been in private practice for almost 7 years now, and I recently expanded into a group practice. We just launched on Monday. So I'm the founder of that, and I still am participating as an active clinician as well in that group. So our group, the Manifesting Mind, integrates clinical psychology and business coaching based on my background and my colleagues' background. So I've worked in community mental health and hospitals throughout my, I guess, professional career. And it was a great starting point to build foundational skills and so enriching in terms of clientele and learning. But I found that over time, I realized I was looking for greater independence and the opportunity to draw more from my leadership background and also work within teams. And my values also shifted. So I began seeking a role that offered better work-life balance. I have a family, I have two kids, so I wanted something that was more flexible and that gave me more autonomy. So while still allowing me to provide quality care. So my role right now is I have the group practice, and that allows me the combination of autonomy, flexibility, and meaningful clinical work. So I really enjoy that. Yeah. Sure. So I originally got into psychology because I enjoy hearing about people's individual stories. And I think at Alliant, I was really encouraged by various professors to talk about my own individual background. So I am a international transracial adoptee. I was adopted from India when I was 3 months old. My mom was Caucasian and American, and I speak Spanish. And so I have a very unique background where I speak Spanish. I don't speak Hindi, which is my language of origin, or would have been. But my exploration of my own past and my own sensitivity to others' individual stories really, I want to say, shaped my interest in this career journey. And since then, it's just been so fulfilling and has built the momentum over time. So initially, exploring my own diversity in school has really created those foundations for me. Um, and then in school, I also learned that therapy looks so different in different contexts. So, we have the standard book things and theories that we learn about therapy and modalities educationally wise, but when you actually go out and apply it in different settings, it can look very different. So during one of my practicums, I worked in San Isidro at Casa Familiar, and so I was really embedded within that community. So at the time, I was working within an underserved, primarily Spanish-speaking immigrant community. And in that setting, therapy looked very different. So I was helping kids with tutoring stuff, with math and English, and their parents were commuting across the Tijuana San Diego border every day. So they were a lot of the times in survival mode. So giving them resources they needed to survive, not just for growth and self-discovery and things like that. So um, I also got to participate in a lot of their cultural traditions. And so they really welcomed me into the community, and I learned how to be part of that with them. And so I've just learned too from Alliance specifically, they created that placement for me to really learn about the diversity of what therapy means. And I've carried that into my practice too, with not thinking only in therapeutic terms, but outside the box of what a client may need and what would contribute best to helping them in the relationship too. So Also, another thing that happened during my time at Alliant is in my last year, I was in internship actually, my last year, and my mom fell ill, and I had to move back to San Diego from LA to caregive. And so I essentially had to take a year off. And I really had, I had a lot of clinical responsibilities at that time. I needed to take a year off. So I really navigated a lot of intricate details and responsibilities and adapted to lifestyle changes at that time. And so with that, it was hard, but it really taught me to think outside the box and problem solve in a non-traditional way. And that's something that I've really learned for myself, and also encourage my clients to do the same thing. So, yeah. And then also the value of building and maintaining relationships is key. And as I had mentioned in the beginning, my cohort mate and I, her name was Amalia, she goes by Leah, but Leah and I were together the entire time. And so we really had each other's support and mentorship throughout school. And that really just influenced my, I guess, perceptions of networking, which I really value. Yeah. Sure. So I actually have three people who really influenced my career trajectory. And one of them wasn't from Alliant, but she was my mom. Um, Growing up, my mother was a marriage and family therapist with her own private practice, and she was a single mom too. So I was able to see first-handedly that independent practice was not only possible, but also deeply fulfilling and sustainable. And so that early exposure helped me really envision that for myself. And she has passed away since then. And so her legacy, I like to think, lives on through me and what I do. And later during school, a close cohort mate of mine, her name is Dr. Azita Hickey. She was in the clinical program. Um, she really built a wonderful practice for herself and taught me the business side of things as well as the clinical side too. So she really mentored me and encouraged me into starting my own practice, and really showed me the inner ropes of what it takes and how to do things, which can be very daunting. And so she really held my hand in helping me set up the initial things. And she was really a catalyst in what I am now. So I'm very grateful to her. And lastly, my dissertation chair and one of my cultural diversity professors at Alliant, her name is Dr. Braje, Brajae, but she really inspired me to integrate my own diversity into my clinical work. So whether it was talking about my own past, thinking about how I could apply interventions with clients, she really inspired that for me and strengthened my skills. And so diversity is a pillar of my practice. That's something that is very valuable to me in understanding clients. And so that has really shaped my career direction and also how I practice now. She was really special
Wonderful.
to me too, and she still is, because when I graduated, obviously my mom wasn't there to attend, and she was the reason why I started this whole journey in the first place, or inspired me to do it. But she nominated me for an award during graduation, and so she hooded me, and then she gave me that award too. So it just meant a lot to me to have, people stand up and clap for me, as I had gone through such a traumatic experience and then pushed through and made it to the finish line. So it was just incredible. She always
And give
has a
your
special place in my heart.
and of
So find work that supports your physical and mental well-being. I think in this field, we ask our clinicians to have work-life balance, but it's not always something that's feasible. And that's totally understandable. But I think the more that you can do that for yourself, the happier you will be. And you'll be able to give not only to yourself, but also to your clients. And so I think that that makes a big difference, finding something that's sustainable for you, especially because you have a personal life as well. And our line of work in healthcare definitely requires a lot. Even though it's very enriching and fulfilling, we have to be cognizant of where we are in that. Also find a mentor who will walk you through the step-by-steps of what you want to create. So Dr. Zia Hickey did that for me. Dr. Brady also did that, but ask the questions, figure out what the options are. My background is also in IO psychology. And so I really took the time to ask on that side of my degree, what are the job opportunities? And some people work for Disney, as organizational leadership. Other people work at Petco at different, in different areas. So there are so many different things that we can do with our degrees, and it's important to have a mentor to talk about with that. And then create a brand for yourself that aligns with your values and is relatable to clients. So definitely think about what clients you want to see and gear your marketing and your skill set towards that. So whether you have foundational knowledge and want to refine that, that's important. And also creating marketing and I guess campaigns and SEO services that will align with the clientele that you want to have. And then the last thing, approaching your path with curiosity. So don't let fear take over at all. There's trial and error in everything that you're going to do. For me, I just started my group practice on Monday, launched it. I had started it last year, but launched it. And there was so many different things that I realized were trial and error. So having one thing in place and then recognizing like, oh, we have to change that or refine it. It's been a learning process and it's going to continue. So my word of advice is lead with curiosity and not with fear and avoidance. Just do it, get started, and then go from there. So that's it.
I